Hey everybody, it's Tom from Talon Guitar Works, and I've got the Stewmac kit, the Princeton reverb on the bench right now. Now I was going to do a whole video doing it step by step, and that was like watching paint dry. I just reviewed most of it and said, no, this has got to go. So we're going to cover the high points of this and what I think should be done again, what I think should be done different. Because right now I'm through with all the major chassis components, as you can see, and all the sockets are in, all the transformers and everything else are on the front and back panel except for knobs. And what I want to say is the first thing is, you see how weighted this is? Do not put the transformers in before you put all the sockets in. The 7 tube sockets will go in much easier without the weight of this transformer. If you've got the Stewmac amplifier chassis holder tool, good on you. I don't. So if I had to do over again, I wouldn't do that. What I did like about the Stewmac kit is they do say, go ahead, number that board. Now I already found that out from the first kit that I built from a different manufacturer where I didn't number the board and it took a little bit longer. Now, Stewmac says this kit should take about 12 hours. I've got about 3 hours in it right now. I've got the main chassis stuff done. I did a complete inventory, which you have to do. And you better get used to going down that sheet and seeing what's what, because critters like this exist in amplifier kits. All right. Do you see the colors there? All right, that's red, red, yellow, gold. Gold doesn't come out gold on brown resistors, so it came out gray. But that's what it is. And you've got to watch with the colors. The easiest ones to discern, I think, are on the tan colored resistors. The harder ones are the dark brown, sometimes the gray or the blue. But know where your resistors and your caps are, what your filter cap values are, and all that stuff. So sort through all that, make sure you got the right amount. Make sure that you have the right amount of mounting screws. I would have put these plates on later than the directions said. They wanted it mounted and they just wanted you to hold it on there on this side with the volume and I think it was, what was it? The base pots to hold this plate in place. And then on the back, they just wanted you to put the ground in and they wanted you to put the external speaker in to hold it in place. Don't tighten either of those up when you do that, because you're going to have to get this 1 amp slow blow fuse holder through, and that isn't easy if it's not lined up. So leave this kind of loose and floating. Now something else you want to watch for, and it's on the front, is this overhang on this bottom edge. If this is overhanging too much, it slides in from the back of the amplifier cabinet. You may not clear the front. And then you're going to think your 2 screw holes don't line up. They line up. You just have to wiggle it and get it in there. So I've got my bias board lettered. I matched up my mounting holes and made sure they were correct for the inside. Now what I want to do is see. Yep, that's going to be just fine. Everything mounts up and looks like it's going to be fine in there. They tell you in the instructions in the Stewmac, you're going to have to drill the mounting holes. You don't. The mounting holes, at least on this kit, were already pre-drilled on both the bias board and on the main board. So that was good. Everything else went fairly well. Like I said, Putting these sockets in is a lot easier without the weight of the transformers. And I don't see where it would make a difference. So me personally, sockets, then transformers. Probably sockets, pots, everything else, then transformers, the heavy stuff. And that big filter cap up there. So basically, we're going to stop here. We're about a third of the way through the build right now, believe it or not. Because this cabinet already has the speaker mounted. I've already got my speaker wire and jack soldered in place. I've got just a piece of tape holding the cable retainer clip, and I'm not putting that in until I get ready to put the electric cord into the chassis and then get it mounted into the cabinet. That makes more sense than putting it in now and then having to fight with that cord later. All right, so this is Tom from Talon Guitar Works. I'm going to try and video soldering this because I think this is probably the most difficult part of the build itself. Getting this right and having it all numbered is going to make that easier. Identifying the parts and where they go, and also doing all the soldering on the 9 pins of the sockets for the tubes and making sure they're right, and then using the correct wires out of the transformer. So a lot of the hard parts done. We're going to keep powering on with this tomorrow. So this is Tom from Talon Guitar Works saying only half my ideas are any good. You have to decide which are.